Hello and welcome back to the channel for another Premier League preview. The focus here will be on Brentford against Spurs at 2 PM televised kickoff on Sunday. It's a game I'm personally quite looking forward to, and I've got a few main selections to talk about in this video with plenty of alternative angles to potentially find an edge. Before going into them, I'm just going to briefly touch on recent form. Brentford come into this game having beaten Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. A good result for them thanks to goals from Kevin Schade and Mbeumo from the penalty spot. That was their 9th win of the season, and it was a result which worked to lift them up to 11th, so comfortably mid-table, well away from the relegation spots, but also not really in contention to challenge for the European spots. The situation for Spurs and Ange Postecoglou is a lot more dire. His side currently sit 15th in the league, just 8 points off Wolves, who are in the relegation zone, and they haven't really been helped by 4 straight losses in the league. There were some positives to be had midweek as Tottenham beat Elfsborg 3-0 in the Europa League to ensure an automatic qualification spot in the knockouts. With key players out like Dominic Solanke, Brennan Johnson, Udogie, James Maddison, Vicario, Christian Romero, Ange Postecoglou was basically forced to play his strongest side midweek. That did include Mickey van der Ven playing at centre-back. He featured for 45 minutes before being replaced by Dragishin, but pretty much this is as strong as it will get for Spurs, and they do deserve a bit of sympathy for the extensive injury list that they've had to contend with recently. When you get teams that are forced into making sort of significant changes to their starting 11 that would become accustomed to over the course of the season, it does obviously make things a bit harder to predict, but also on the other hand it can create an opportunity to exploit, and I'll be touching more on that later. Goals are certainly on the agenda in this match between two of the more front-footed and progressive sides in the league. However, the market does seem to have adjusted well enough and prices are extremely short for goals. We can see over 2.5 goals is priced at 1.36. Both teams to score is priced at 1.33, so way too short to be taking on as singles, and therefore we're going to have to get a bit creative. Brentford come into this match as slight favourites, priced at 2.1 to win with Bet365, and I would say that's understandable why, given how much better they have been at home than they have been on the road. In fact, if the league was based on home results only, Brentford would sit in 4th. In the last 4 games, however, it's worth noting that Brentford have not won at the Gtec Community Stadium, but those were against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City and Forest, which are the league's current top 4, so they sort of ought to view this game against Spurs as maybe a slightly easier one than they've had in the last few weeks. I've obviously already mentioned this injury crisis that Spurs are having to endure at the moment, but irrespective of that, they've been sort of dreadful on the road anyway, with a record of 3 wins, 1 draw and 7 losses this season in the league. So 2.1 for Brentford to win, definitely not a bad angle in my opinion. Now, I've already mentioned that I like the prospect of goals in this game, and I also fancy Brentford. It probably comes as no surprise that my first angle would be for Yoane Wissa to score, which is priced at 2.6 with Bet365. If we look into his goal scoring record at home this season in the league, we can see he's landed this bet in 7 out of 10. All 3 of those misses have come in the last 4 games, which was against Liverpool, Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, which are 3 of the best defensive outfits in the league so far. So against Spurs, it's an ideal matchup to target him. I just think anything over evens for Wissa just looks a fantastic price given his form at home. Shifting over to his partner in attack, Bryan Mbeumo, I really like this price of 1.83 to score or assist with Paddy Power. Although he's been a bit less involved in the goals in recent weeks, his attacking output has remained high, again particularly in front of a home crowd. He's landed this bet in 8 out of 12. Failing against Liverpool, Man City and Forest. He did also fail against Leicester, which was a bit of an anomaly, but again, given the hit rates, 8 out of 12 games, this price of 1.83 with Paddy Power looks a really nice one as well. A slightly more niche but high value angle that I also quite like is for Mikkel Damsgaard to register an assist, which is priced at 4.2 with Paddy Power. He's managed 5 assists in 10 league starts this season, landing this bet in 4 out of 10. Most likely he'll be playing behind Yoane Wissa, Bryan Mbeumo, potentially even Kevin Schade, so he's got 3 very capable players to feed in the attacking third, and Damsgaard would also be responsible for set pieces, corners, free kicks, anything that goes into the box, he'll be the one taking it. So again, expecting Brentford to find success in this game against a depleted Spurs side. I really do like this price of 4.2 for Damsgaard to pick up an assist with Paddy Power. Most of the bets so far have followed a specific theme, mostly being quite optimistic on Brentford's chances. But I'm going to move on to a sort of second angle of attack for this game, and it is backing the unders on Spurs free kicks. The line is currently set at 12.5 with under 12.5 Spurs free kicks priced at 2.0 with Bet365. However, looking at Brentford's foul data at home this season, you can see that they're averaging just 7.25 fouls per game to go with 2.08 offside. So they combine to conceding just 9.33 free kicks per game at home this season. The reason the line is as high as it is because Spurs have been quite adept at drawing fouls this season. In fact, they've drawn more fouls than any other Premier League team this campaign. However, it's worth noting that James Maddison, Destiny Udogie and Dominic Solanke are all ruled out of this game against Brentford, and those three players have drawn the most fouls for Spurs this season. Now, I do think that is quite significant, which has sort of led me to be more interested in backing the unders here, especially against a side like Brentford, who are generally quite passive, and Brentford rarely hit the high foul counts anyway, as the data that I highlighted previously suggests. Now, if you're looking for a sort of alternative angle to that, Bet365 are also offering the unders for player fouls in this game. And there are three players that I would like to focus on particularly. Starting off with Sepp van den Berg, who is priced at 2.25 to register under 0.5 fouls, which has landed in 4 out of 9 home games this season, including each of the last 3 straight games. Next up, it's Mikael Damsgaard, who has landed a foul in just 3 out of 10 home starts this season, and he's priced at 1.8 for the same bet of under 0.5 fouls. One reason I do quite like Damsgaard a bit more is because his minutes are not as secure. He's only completed the full 90 in half of his home games, so if he could be substituted around the sort of 70 to 75 minutes mark, makes his price look pretty solid at 1.8. And finally, Nathan Collins, who is averaging just 0.42 fouls per game at home this season in the league. He's only managed a foul in 4 out of 12 home games. So again, his price of 1.8 looks pretty decent value. That will be all the bets I intended to cover in this video, so I'm going to very quickly summarize. First of all, I mentioned Wissa anytime goal scorer, which is priced at 2.6 with Bet365. And Burmo to score or assist at 1.83 with Paddy Power, and Damsgaard to register an assist, which is priced at 4.2 with Paddy Power. I also mentioned how I do quite like Brentford to win, which is priced at 2.1 with Bet365. Moving on to the free kicks, I like Spurs under 12.5 free kicks at 2.0 with Bet365. Van den Berg to commit under 0.5 fouls at 2.25. Nathan Collins to register under 0.5 fouls at 1.8, and Damsgaard for the same bet under 0.5 fouls at 1.8 as well, all of those with Bet365. Best of luck for any bets you decide to go with. Thank you for your support on this video and on the channel, and I will see you all in the next one, so take care and goodbye.